Fellow Nigerians, welcome. Today we are talking about a story that has caught the attention of many across the country. Kenneth Okonkwo, the Nollywood actor and politician, has made some bold claims about President Bola Tinubu and the Southeast. According to Okonkwo, Tinubu did not give the Southeast the attention it deserved during his presidential campaign. And even after the election, he continued to marginalize the region. He said that when Tinubu was campaigning, he only invited the Southeast to meet him after he had finished touring other zones he considered more important. Okonkwo says Tinubu told the Southeast that what they would get in his government would be like a soaked slice of bread. And after the election, he allegedly dismissed the region by saying people from the Southeast came to Lagos at the age of 12 but did not support him. Okonkwo interprets this as a clear message of marginalization and even emasculation of the Southeast. Now, you know, when you hear claims like this, you have to pause and think, is it true or is it just a political exaggeration? Many in the Southeast feel they have been left behind, and statements like these can make people feel even more frustrated. But at the same time, the government has responded. The Minister of Information has said that Igbos are not being marginalized, pointing to infrastructure projects like roads and bridges, and mentioning that some ministries are led by people from the Southeast. This is important to note because it shows there are two sides to this story. Let's think about this for a moment. In Nigerian politics, every region wants to feel included. If one region feels left out, it can cause tension, disunity, and even anger among citizens. That is why statements like the soaked slice of bread claim are so powerful. Even if Tinubu didn't literally say it, the perception matters. People in the Southeast are listening, and they are paying attention to whether their voices, votes, and needs are being considered. While some are supporting Okonkwo's claim, others are defending the government, saying that projects have been done, ministers have been appointed, and that inclusion is happening. But here is where it gets interesting. The Southeast has long felt that their contributions are taken for granted. Many people feel their votes matter only during elections, and once the elections are over, promises vanish. This is a story that taps into those deep feelings. And that's why so many people are talking about it. Now, I want you to think about this. If you were in the Southeast and your region was promised development but only received very little, how would you feel? Would you feel included in the government or would you feel ignored? These are questions that many Nigerians are asking today. It's also important to remember when talking about this that the government is trying to show inclusion through projects and appointments. They point to the fact that ministers and leaders from the Southeast are in key positions. They argue that development projects have been launched in cities across the Southeast, but the question is, are these enough? Does having a few leaders in key positions balance the perception of marginalization, especially when people feel promises were broken? Now, my friends, I want you to do something for me. While watching this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss more updates like this. We are breaking down stories and giving you real-time gist that matters. Your support helps us bring more truth and clarity to Nigerian news. Let's continue. Think about the phrase soaked slice of bread. That is not a small metaphor. It suggests that the Southeast would only get the smallest portion, something not enough, something to survive but not thrive. Even if it was said figuratively, it's the kind of statement that can ignite feelings of being left out or ignored. Nigerians are watching, and when political leaders say things that make people feel dismissed, it affects trust. The reaction of citizens matters a lot here. People are talking on social media, discussing whether the Southeast is really being marginalized or whether this is just a political narrative being pushed for attention. Some people say that, yes, infrastructure is happening, but what about jobs? What about education? What about healthcare? Development is more than just buildings. It is about quality of life, and many feel this is missing. As I tell you this story, I want to ask you to engage. Comment below, what is your view? Do you think the Southeast has been marginalized, or is this an exaggeration? Your voice matters. We want to hear from everyone across Nigeria. Okonkwo also made a point about Lagos. He said that Tinubu reportedly claimed that people from the Southeast moved to Lagos at 12 and still did not support him. Think about that for a moment. It's not just about politics. It's about culture, identity, and respect. People feel their contributions are ignored, and that fuels political tension. Now, don't forget, my viewers, to keep liking this video and subscribing. Every like helps the channel, and subscribing ensures you get updates on important stories like this. We are not just giving news, we are breaking down complex stories so that everyone can understand. This story is a reminder that politics in Nigeria is about balance. Every region wants fairness, and every citizen wants to feel included. When a leader is seen as favoring one region over another, it can cause lasting divisions. That is why this story from Okonkwo is resonating with so many people. It's not just about Tinubu or the Southeast. It's about how every Nigerian feels represented in the government. So, continuing with this story, let's look at why the Southeast is so sensitive to these statements. Historically, the Southeast has often felt left out in federal appointments, projects, and political attention. This feeling is not new. It has been building over decades. When a prominent figure like Kenneth Okonkwo speaks up and says the region was promised only a soaked slice of bread, it triggers strong emotions because it taps into these long-standing feelings of being overlooked. Many people in the Southeast are asking, are we really getting enough attention in terms of development? Are our leaders being appointed to powerful positions, or are they just symbolic figures with no real influence? When Okonkwo says that Tinubu dismissed the region after the election by pointing to people who moved to Lagos at age 12, it's seen as condescending. It's like saying, we brought you here and you still did not support me, so you are not important. You can see why this has caused a stir across social media and conversations in communities. Now you may ask, what has the government said in response? The response has been that the Southeast is included in federal projects and ministerial positions. They point to bridges, roads, and appointments like the Works Ministry led by a Southeast leader. But let's break this down in a way everyone can understand. Projects alone are not enough. True inclusion means your voice is heard, your needs are met, and your people feel represented at every level. And that is why this story is so significant. Let's also talk about the politics of perception. Sometimes it's not just what the government does, but how people perceive it. If citizens feel left out, even real projects may not change their perception. That is why statements like the soaked slice of bread metaphor are so powerful. Whether Tinubu said it literally or not, the idea that the Southeast would get very little resonates with many people and fuels debate. Think about this. Elections in Nigeria are not just about votes, they are about trust. When a region feels ignored, trust breaks down. This could have long-term consequences. Not just for Tinubu, but for national unity. Citizens may start questioning their role in politics, their vote, and whether their support is valued. This is why Okonkwo's statements are sparking discussions all over the country. Now, my viewers, let's engage. I want you to think about your own state or region. Are you seeing development projects where you live? Are government leaders from your region making real decisions, or are they just there in name? Comment below. I want to hear from you. Your experiences are important because they help everyone understand whether the government is being fair or not. Also, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. Share this video with friends and family so they can also follow the story and give their opinion. We are building a community where Nigerians can understand what is happening in real time and discuss it openly. Now, let's talk about the emotional side of this story. The Southeast has a long history of contributing to Nigeria's economy, culture, and politics. When people feel that their contributions are not recognized, it causes frustration. Imagine working hard all your life, supporting a leader, and then being told your region will only get a soaked slice of bread. That's not just a political issue, it's about respect and fairness. This is why statements like Okonkwo's are so powerful. They give voice to feelings that many people in the Southeast have but may not express publicly. It's not just about a Tinubu or one election. It's about a broader conversation on inclusion, representation, and equity in Nigeria. The government argues that the Southeast is included. Bridges, roads, ministries, and projects are cited as evidence. But let's ask, are these projects enough? Are they being distributed fairly? Or is the perception still that the Southeast gets less than other regions? This is an important discussion that Nigerians need to have openly. Now, remember to keep liking this video and subscribing so you stay updated with the full story. The more engagement we get, the more people see the story and can participate in this conversation. It's not just news, it's real talk about real issues affecting Nigerians every day. In conclusion for this part, the key takeaway is that perception matters as much as reality. Okonkwo's statement may or may not reflect Tinubu's exact words, but they capture a feeling many in the Southeast experience. The government's response highlights actual projects and appointments, but trust takes more than numbers. It takes consistent, fair, and visible inclusion in all aspects of governance. This conversation is far from over. As we continue to watch how the government addresses these concerns, citizens will continue to observe, question, and demand fairness. And that is why this story is so important.